Afternoon, VC. Dave here, and delighted to be featuring another Blue Note record here in the 1500 Project. And this is a record I hadn't listened to in a few years. And I remember my first impressions of this was kind of ho-hum, because I think because of where I started in the catalog of this artist, and when I started working backwards, just when you start with like the Cooker with Lee Morgan and then go backwards, it's hard to find something as fiery. But going back and listening to this record now, I have a much higher appreciation for it, and that is the album Candy. Blue Note 1590. So this record was recorded in November of 1957, and also part of it in February of 1958, released at the end of November of 1958. The lineup that was assembled for this is kind of unique because it's just Lee Morgan as the only horn here. Sonny Clark is on piano, Dud Watkins bass, and Art Taylor on the drums. And speaking of Art Taylor, right off the top on the first cut, the title track Candy, he lets his presence be known. Really kicks this record off just brilliantly. And Candy, there's 3 songs aside, and Candy is probably it made the title for a reason. It's probably the best track on the record, most diverse. Art Taylor takes things out, like I said, and then Lee Morgan hits you with a really nice solo, and then Sonny Clark comes in with a solo extended. And Sonny Clark is interesting. His sound is somewhere, and I think I've heard someone say this before, somewhere in between Monk and Powell, somewhere kind of floating around in the middle there. But he's a solid player, and it goes back to Lee for another solo. Doug Watkins gets in on things. Candy, really dig that cut. It's a fantastic track, and fairly upbeat. So the second track, Since I Fell for You, you move into a much slower number. Not quite a full-on ballad though, and that's because of Lee's virtuosity. Just phenomenal tone, phenomenal playing. Sonny Clark again gets his licks in a solo. Not quite full-on ballad, but much slower tune. Then you move to CTA, the last track on side 1, which I really dig. Lee Morgan's on fire on that one. The pace goes way back up, and everybody's killing it on that one. CTA, I love that track. You move to the B side, and again things shift. Starts off with All the Way. Again, the numbers, it slows back down on this one. All the Ways, but still, again, the style of playing just keeps everything in the pocket, and it keeps propelling the record forward. Then you move to Who Do You Love, I Hope? And you get a swinging number. Things get swinging on that one. The whole group. And then it closes out with Personality. And again, the album changes. Personality is like a more introspective type song, with the way Lee's playing through that one. A much more diverse record than I recall. There's a lot here to take in for anyone that's listening to the jazz, because, like it hits on a lot of different things. Again, Candy, probably the best overall tune, but CTA is the one, man. It's all out fire. And again, man, you know, with Lee being the only horn, you really get to see how he's progressing here early on in his career. But yeah, Reed Miles cover. Again, this one's an interesting one. Not my favorite, but a brilliant recording from Rudy Van Gelder. This is really clean sounding. This particular pressing, I grabbed at Lunchbox, and it's the only time I've ever seen this record in the bins. And I'm very happy with this pressing. It's a 2015 Spain pressing. Big, thick piece of wax. It's an audiophile press. And they redid the New York stereo labels on this. And I couldn't be happier with this. I mean, this just sounds incredible. One of the better sounding Blue Notes I have. And yeah, Blue Note 1590, Lee Morgan Candy. I hope you're all well out there. Peace.